Hello, everyone. We are just in time for the U Reports Ubuntu Touch Q&A 155. And 155 is a huge number already. Our show bi-weekly still, I guess, for news and questions and answers from the community about Ubuntu Touch and everything around it. And today I'm here again. Sometimes I do it, so everybody's surprised always. Oh, Florian is there again. Okay. Here with me is Alfred.
Hello, everyone. Also from Vienna here. Quite the weather today, I must say. But greetings from over here.
Yeah, super. Thanks for having me. And Marius.
Yeah, it's me, Marius. A little bit
And-
sick, but otherwise good, and not from Vienna.
Definitely not from Vienna.
Definitely.
But yeah, we would love to have you here now and then.
I would almost guess that everybody in Vienna would identify you as a Viking by now.
Ooh. I am a I am a modern Viking.
But you're a coughing Viking.
I'm a coughing. Yeah, I've been fighting too much.
Yes.
If he can get his helmet through the customs and the security scanner, then everything will be fine.
Yeah, just put it this way, say it's metal and they will understand.
Yeah,
they will
it's
understand.
fine. They won't dare to ask anyway.
So I guess this is the last show before Christmas. So I
Oh,
hope
yeah?
everybody's hyped. The end of year is coming very quickly, at least for me. There are a few things on the Christmas wish list, but of course, most of all, it's that everybody is doing well. Have some good holidays coming now, and hopefully it was a good year for everyone. Everybody is happy about achieved stuff, and not too much hurt from not achieved stuff. And we're looking forward into a great 2025. I don't know if you guys plan to do another show before end of year. We had some end of year show at the very beginning, as I remember. Or was it just also the one before Christmas? I don't remember. But we had some Christmas hats and stuff like these.
I remember, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't there, but I've seen it.
You've seen it. It was, yeah. I remember this, yeah. Good. So let's kick it off with some great news. There is one news item here that I'm happy to share with all of you. It's about that our wonderful Ari, who always loves to tinker with porting and with our documentation, is doing some efforts to improve our porting documentation in a very unusual way. He basically says, well, why not feed parts of the porting documentation into machine learning and see how actually this can be improved by getting ideas how to reformulate, restructure the text, make things more precise, gather some additional information, and make the text all over more readable and more enjoyable to read. So thank you, Ari, for that. And thanks for taking the time to explore how this can work. It really seems that it has some interesting results already. We will gradually merge this stuff as it comes in. So looking forward to having a very nice and comprehensive porting document that is also easy to read and easy to understand. That's at least what I expect. And it's in the review stage. So over the next, I don't know, couple of days, weeks, it should land where it always is, in our porting docs.
Yeah.
Docs.ubiports.com, is it still working like this?
Yes, it's on GitHub. It's merge request 226, if I remember correctly. It's
Here
a
it
draft
shouldn't
right
see-
now.
yeah.
So
We will undraft it, I guess.
there
So
we go.
yeah, thank you for that. Great stuff. Good documentation is the root of making the thing more heard and more widespread. We always need better documentation. There is no end to this. Good.
Yes.
Then, next stuff. Alfred?
I would like to say something
Yes, of
that
course.
I've been working on just before we get to any experiments, but this has landed in GitLab already on the UbiPorts GitLab, and that is Snapd built for Focal. Not for Focal, but for Noble. Okay, I made a mistake.
Damn versions.
Yes, no, it is built for Noble, built on UBport CI. You can get the libhybris enabled snapd through after installing the thing. Remounting it's read-writable. To be fair, yeah, it's a preview thing. It needs to be seeded with the regular image. But once it's inside of the regular image of the or of the rootfs, then it has snapd working properly, and that is, I think, for many that just want to play around with something that is providing what we wanted with Libertine, for example, that's top applications on an Ubuntu Touch device. This works here. So,
just fill me in on this because I'm really not following all the news. So Snap is something now that is a thing for Ubuntu Touch, and we can start using snaps on the operating system, or
we've been testing it with Snapzor initially, and it was for local mainly, and the goal was to bring the next release up with snapd in the rootfs. For me personally, that was my goal. So that's the last missing piece that needs to land, so that we have in the image. And also, what I would like to do, I'm going to mention this out loud right now, but I've had the idea of making a sort of like features checkbox, for example, in the system settings for cups for printing. You just push a button and it installs cups for printing needs. And if it's not there, it's just snap installing cups into the user data partition, and that's it. So it would not waste the rootfs data size, whatever, for the limited space requirements that we have to fulfill. So that's something.
That is nice.
Very good. All right. In other news, I just see that probably something has been merged. At least that's why there is the link to the merge requests.
Yes.
On page 16. I don't know what that is.
16? How you're at 16?
That was the link here. Is there already more? We have 300 pages of merge requests. Okay, we're not going to go through all 300 pages. Maybe we can just pick a few of them for that show.
Oh, yes. That is true. Yes. So, yeah, Marius, I don't know. Do you have anything to add here? I see one that I want to mention, and that is fixed usage of Sync framework on Linux 4.7 and up of Hardware Composer 2 in the mere Android 2 platform. So what we've been doing wrong was synchronizing on frame completion for EGL and stuff like that, or rather for mere client and mere server, or was it mere server or mere client? I don't know which one it was. But synchronizing on fences was wrong, and Notkit fixed this thing pretty well. I was testing it, and it actually allows me to disable a hack that I introduced on Mir Android 2 platform myself, which is some synchronization flushing of EGL, GL command buffers, whatever. And that is cool to see because it now allows the JINK to render properly. So no like artifacts on the screen, it renders properly, and that's, at a reasonable frame rate also.
I found another one that is particularly funny, not funny because it's actually a very serious thing. It's disabling kernel messages in journal day by default. But the contributor is the Great Wizard Ascali. So thank you, Great Wizard. I like the name and I like the contribution. I don't know if it's your one of your first ones or you're already a seasoned contributor, but I really like that stuff.
All right.
There's also been some movement on now. Noble is moving really fast, so we have a couple of fixes that are also in the pipeline. It's waiting for the push service to finally complete, because now the building of images are currently blocked because of that. So that's why there isn't much of an update yet. But once the upgrades start, there will probably be like for fixed for location service, location indicator, and now audio is getting in, like phone call audio. Phone call in general should be more or less fixed. There is, let me see, there is so much. There's also bug fixes, for example, the indicator where the Wi-Fi icon has been was missing, for example. NFC is probably might land in that time. NFC, yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing that on the Zenial thing initially.
Yeah.
We're supporting it, but we've not seen any people using it for actual apps. So if anyone out there, well, we have sample apps, we have test apps.
Yeah.
We have, stressing the functionality, but not much like a real use for it. So it's a little,
that's true.
Please do something with it. Please.
Yeah, and also on that, there's also the whole NFC stack has been updated, including some extra packages that had to be packaged for that. Hotspot is in. Camera will probably be in by then. Media playback, and hopefully we get clickables. Well, not clickable, but click support ready by then, because once that is ready, stuff is starting to look like we're getting ready for a alpha release. We're moving pretty quickly now. We are pushing pretty hard. We want to get a release out before Christmas.
Yay!
Ooh, Christmas presents coming.
It won't be a release, like a stable release, but it will be something that people can play around with in Christmas time.
Release candidate 0.
Yeah, release candidate -1.
Oh, don't be so negative. 0 is already before 1, so let's say it's not 1, but it's 1 before 1.
Marius is a developer who starts counting at -1.
Yeah, but -1, that's -1 in some programming language. That means that it's the last one.
Yeah, that's
mature
true.
ones.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, Python, for example, right?
Yeah, so it's the most mature one.
Yeah, right.
Yes. Cool. So NFC, I've always wanted to have a door opener for my office, but unfortunately that doesn't work, and it's also not really the fault of UT in this case, but they're just using some weird protocol, and none of the phone readers can actually deal with that card. So you get nothing out of it. It's just not compatible in the hardware, it seems. Otherwise, I could record the content of my card and then just open the door with my phone. But yeah, not working in that building. I don't know. Good.
Yeah, I'm sure there are more merge requests that are noteworthy, but we don't have so much time to go through all of those. There's the pad. Yeah, we should head over to the applications. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. So we do have a few interesting new apps. Two interesting new apps. One is by Joan, and that is Where ? Where is the app, and it is basically allowing you to open like location links and parse the values that are provided as part of the link, so that you understand what the location link actually means. Interesting thing. Very nice to see. And also another app that is really cool to see also, I think, in my own personal opinion, and that is Xphone, EXphone. Block unwanted calls effortlessly, and that is by Joseph. So very nice thing I'm seeing here. I've installed it on my device. I don't have anyone to block right now, but as soon as I would have to, I will definitely make use of this thing and put it to use.
We could try it. You can block me. I mean, anyways, I don't call you so much, but I can give you
Yeah.
a test call.
Yeah, that's true. It would be worth a shot, right?
Luckily, at least in Austria, we don't have this issue of so many unsolicited calls on phones. It seems to be different by country, and some people are saying it's really annoying that they're still getting phone calls from strange numbers. But here in Austria, it's kind of quiet in this regard. I only had someone try to selling me wine for some time, and they kept calling me back now and then. And yeah, you could report this actually, and they would then get into a bit of a trouble maybe. But anyways, it's very quiet on the phone these days. I rarely get any phone calls, so having the feature is great, but I also really cannot test it much. Yeah. The other question is, does anybody of you know how this is implemented? Because we always said it's not so easy to hook into the incoming calls. And we had this paid app. What was its name that could do it in the beginning?
I don't know. I don't remember, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. And then at the end, this would be a second one that can do the same. Yeah, it would be great. Please give it a try. If anybody's interested in call blocking, there seems to be now a second solution for that.
If I would have to guess, it is also open source versus proprietary here.
Yeah.
The previous one was not open source, so we have something to see here, right? All right.
Always good to have more choices.
Yeah, also. That's true. So those are the new apps and also updated apps. We have a handful, or a little bit more than a handful. We have London Transit, a simple app for transportation in London by Amy. I've seen it. It's looking very good. When you can play around with it and figure out on your own how to get around in London now. So yeah, there's also Waydroid Helper by Aaron. So new version, or is it actually Aaron, or is it who is maintaining this thing nowadays? I'm not really sure anymore. But yeah, Waydroid Helper has received another update. Radar, the weather app for the Netherlands, is also something that has been updated. Thanks, Sandra, for that. Rockwork, the Ubuntu clockwork for your Pebble smartwatch by Muhammad. Also nice. I've been able to toy around with that myself, and a Pebble that I was gifted. Thanks again to the person who gifted it to me. And was nice to see it working properly for a Pebble smartwatch. Some people still enjoy them. We have something with which you could use it still. So there's also MeTubo that has been updated. A simple stream audio or video player by Alberto. So looking at that, allows playing back YouTube streams or others maybe also using GStreamer so that you can play it back with hardware acceleration. There's also time management beta by Synchronics Technologies. Pardon me. And it's a beautiful conversion app for Ubuntu Touch. We also have, what's that, GS forecast? Geo.ru. What is that? The forecast app. I've not seen that one, to be honest. By Vlad. And also something that I have released just yesterday is a new release of Mimi browser. That fixes some crashers. It's now more stable and more reliable. So switching tabs shouldn't crash the thing as easily anymore. So, and also performance is also something that I'm tackling at the moment. But at least I was able to release a new version of WebKit browser Mimi to people out there who really need a newer browser for their web needs. So yeah, that's about it, so to say.
Very good stuff. Yeah. Good.
Wow.
Oh, and here is the 20 minutes into the show tone. It's just a reminder for our synchronization, blah, blah. We can always
Yeah,
pretend it was on purpose.
That
totally.
is
Who doesn't set the phone on silent? Okay, no matters.
It wasn't silence, but it was an alarm, so it overrides the silence.
Very
Ah.
good. Always these layers of stuff that can push through.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for giving this list of new and updated apps. And for the Mimi browser, I'm really proud that you are working on this so hard and trying to really get this thing onto the next level. Do you have any idea about feedback, people using this? How's the community going with that?
It seems like overall, like a positive overall like feeling around it or atmosphere. So I'm not worrying about it being the Apple browser engine versus, for example, Mozilla or something. So at least people can use a browser for accessing their websites on the device more reliably, or in certain cases at all, so that they can do what they need to do on the phone.
Yeah, that's true. I can now sell my used stuff more easily because our Willhaben page doesn't work anymore with Lumira. I'm saying with. Damn it. Yes,
Or
it doesn't work actually well, but now with Mimi browser it works as far as I can reply to people and see more than one page at the beginning. So this is the problem of HTML and all these things changing all over the way. I don't like it personally, but yeah, we have to admit that even simple web pages nowadays can get updated overnight and having issues with displays. Okay, cool. Then
Yes.
it's already sponsors time, I guess.
Yeah.
So, where are the beautiful banners? Please switch on the banners.
You
Here
need to
is one.
find the clicky things. There are.
Yes, the clicky thing. So, thanks to our long-time sponsors, some of them since day one: the Smooth, Voila, Pine64, Warnstein, DigitalOcean, Netlify, Odo Community Association, Private Internet Access, Gardner Associates Consulting, Tixia, GitLab, Cloudrun, Kudluta, and Gandhi.net. And yeah, I read it actually in the same speed, like it's scrolling. I love it. I was just looking
Yes,
at it.
nice.
I'm not as professional as Dalton could do it back then, but yeah. Okay, and the patrons. So the patrons list, I'm not sure if it's synced with the banner. I guess not, so I hide this one. And we're just reading the patrons from that list because our patrons are an essential part of our funding. And so we thank them in every our shows. There is, for example, A.Thiel, Conspy, Daniel Franzak, Enik, Heather Ellsworth, Jose Angel Escurra, I guess, JT, Kenneth Drew, Linus Rune, Luigi 311, Martin McFly Jr. Oh, this one is really nice actually. Michael Kellner, Mr. T 10001, Omegos PK, Robin Hood, not that Robin Hood, Rondarius, Spendierhose, Stephen Granger, Davidson, and Will Atwood. Thanks, guys. If you want to
Thanks
contribute to us, what?
I said thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. If you want to help to contribute, you can go to ureports.com/donate. And there is a new thing now. Yeah, thank you. There is now a shop. You can purchase our merch from our online store. ureports.com/en/shop. And this is still going strong. I remember what we sold on this one FOSDEM where we had the stand, and I was just having this credit card terminal and I was just checking stuff like crazy. Be it t-shirts, socks, mugs. It was amazing. Yeah? People loved it. So please buy our merch. It also helps us to finance certain things, infrastructure, paying developers, and doing other good stuff. Great. So, question time. Thank you for your support. Thank you. Question time. Let's see. We have a few questions from the forum as we take them before the show, and you can always go to the forum before. one of our Q&As and ask your question there, and we're gonna try to answer it live. And if we don't answer it live, either we don't have any time anymore, or we just don't have an answer. It can happen. And there is also from the live chat, if time permits, there will be some questions answered, hopefully. Let's see what we have today. Good. Question number 1. And actually, I would combine it with their second question. Christopher wants to know that if he has obviously a pacemaker that is now connected with his Samsung Galaxy. Unfortunately, didn't write their operating system. And it's sending data to the local hospital. Will it work on UT, or should I wait with porting UT to my phone? I guess you should wait, because this app won't work anymore, as far as I know. And not sending data from your pacemaker to your local hospital could be really a serious thing that you don't want to get into. So unfortunately for this case, until somebody writes an app that does the same, and especially interfaces with the protocol that they're using to send data to your local hospital, I don't think we have a solution for that. As said, it is, but your health is always much more important than supporting UT on your phone. So yeah, better stay with that stuff. The second question from him, the documentation for Swedish is locked on Weblate, but can one push new translations some other way until it gets unlocked? I'm gonna to clarify this. I have already asked in the language group. So far, I did not receive an answer, but I guess either it's locked on purpose because something went horribly wrong with the Swedish translation, or it's just a hiccup and we can fix it easily by unlocking that thing. Please try again in a few days. If not, complain on the forum again. We will stay tuned and see that we can get Swedish unlocked. Because I guess, Marius, you agree on that. Swedish is a very important language on UT. Okay, of course, after Norwegian.
Yeah, it is more important than Danish.
Oh,
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
But it's taken
Sorry
from
for
a
triggering.
it's taken from a YouTube video
Kamalose.
about Kamalose. Yeah, if
Kamalose.
anyone gets that, it's about how the Danish people don't even understand the Danish language, which is a very interesting video, and it's made by Norwegians.
Yeah, very. I would suggest to you to figure out where to find the video and watch it, because it's very good.
It's really good, yeah.
Great. So yes, please, we are all friends. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, Swedish is an important language. So yeah, that's actually first question. 2 questions actually. One person, 2 questions. Next one. This is also very interesting. Camille, from Camille, will there be a mouse orientation fix? When I rotate the screen, mouse still sticks to portrait because it's hard to use a phone with mouse on landscape. Alfred,
Yeah,
is it for you?
There is this bug that doesn't necessarily happen on, for example, the Jingpad, but it does happen on the Pine Tab 2, at least the one that I tested it on. And that is the orientation is the width and the height are flipped, so that it is not in landscape but in portrait mode. So every time you go with the mouse, move it over to as far as possible to the right, it gets stuck in portrait mode, and you cannot go past that.
Yeah, it's about the constraints. It's not about swapping X and Y axis, but it will move correctly left to right in landscape, but it gets stuck because it's limited on the portrait size.
Yes.
Oh, that's a nasty one, actually.
Yeah. It is still around. It's still a bug that we have, and we would have to figure out how to fix that. It depends on the device. The Jingpad is a very odd one because it has very different hacks in place in order to accomplish what it does with the width and height. So, yeah, it's a device per device situation, sadly.
Okay, unfortunately, he did not mention his device. But yeah. Okay, it's a known bug. Unfortunately, no ETA to be fixed. All right, next one. Are the Volla 22 versions of UT different between the full install and the SD card install? If they are, why? I have no clue about it.
No idea whatsoever.
Marius?
SD card, is that with the multi-boot solution for the Vollas?
Maybe.
Probably
I never
is.
had that.
I don't know what's in there or how that is composed or installed in the first place. I have no idea.
But I would say there is no difference probably other than a different boot or initial boot sequence because it would still require to have the normal system image as a read-only file there and is running off that image. So yeah, I guess once that is in place and accessible, those things behave the same. But I don't want to give my 100% on that. Right. This is something you could actually please ask in the Volla section of the forum, because there are more guys around that are using that and have experience with it. I hope you can find it there. If not, post it on next show again and say, you did answer my question in the forum, and Dave 115, 2000 wants still an answer. We will try to cover that. And I know already whom to ask about it. Good. So, there are a few more questions from the live chat, and now the list got a bit longer. Let me see what was the other question. Actually, it's again, Christopher, you're actually live with us. That's very nice. And that question is for Marius, I guess. Why is Lumiri the main DE for UT? Due to lack of space for other DEs or some other reason? I guess on the Q&A 155, you're still happy to answer that question, right?
Well, I guess it's because Lumiri is the only one that can do what we want it to do.
Exactly, it's a good answer already.
That's it.
So what we want to do is to have fully convergent. We want to have a user interface that adapts to the phone no matter what the screen size. We want something that's performant. We want something that's easy to use. And we want something that's already stable and battle tested for years. And also, UbiPorts at this time is more phone focused and desktop focused at the time. So we also need something that is phone first. And now Lumiri is pretty much the only one that's with a few exception that does phone first.
There we go.
And also to date, I would say is the only desktop environment that is production ready and ready. I mean, with production ready, I mean ready for you to give this to your grandma without needing much of a headache. Of course, there will be headache because of other things, because of apps, but not because of the user interface.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, sure. And I guess it's also that just maintaining variability or alternatives or possible interfaces to exchange the DE completely are just way too much for the small team that we are still. Let alone that we have to deal with a lot of custom stuff like app data exchange, clipboard, notifications, a lot of things that are made such that they can interface with Lumiri quite easily. And any other DE off the shelf would just need additional maintenance. And I know the question comes up every few, I don't know, months maybe. At least new users asking this very often, why can I just install, I don't know, XYZ. But yeah, I guess
there's one particular difference there that needs to be mentioned, and that is we don't see ourselves as a distribution. We see ourselves as a platform. We're providing an app store with apps that are custom tailored to what the user experience that we want to provide matches up to, right? So and also it has existed before alternatives have been around. So there's something to be said about the one tried and true environment for all the form factors, right? So to say, that is as stable as it is with Lemiri. So, yeah.
And the old saying that we always use in this case: phones are not PCs. So,
Also,
after all, this is also just some, and even also if you compare it with the desktop PC notebook world, even Android and iOS are completely different stuff from a desktop operating system. And so far, also the other way around did not work well. So when Google wanted to have more Android on the desktop, they made some experiments around this. And either you can just share stuff between your mobile phone and the desktop, or you have the whole operating system running in the browser. But that didn't get very far. There is no majority of users on the planet using such things. There are still PC laptop operating systems, Linux, Windows, Mac OS, and there are still mobile phone operating systems. And in either direction, unification of experience is hard, it seems.
that is true.
Good. Was there another one? I'm just scrolling now through the list. Was there a question from Fuse Team? Hi, Fuse Team. Did you ask a question? You didn't see it so far. I just saw your answers.
I see a clarification for a question that I raised earlier, and that is Maciek is maintaining the Waydroid now.
Cool.
That is good to know. Thanks.
Very good. And he is on Telegram. You can get in touch with him.
Yeah.
In one of our groups, you will find him, probably. Good.
Also, a very interesting point that I see here with regards to immutability. When we say that we're immutable as an operating system, I think that sets expectations nowadays pretty well, because it makes people understand why this is the way it is. The system is read-only and stuff like that, why it is composed the way it is.
Yeah.
And the grandmother example, or the mother example even, is very nice one, because I remember that that was one of the things that you could really say. You give this thing to someone, being assured that they cannot really break the phone easily. They cannot really lock themselves out of basic functions like using a phone, sending a text message. You can play with UT as long as you want and click randomly on all the settings buttons. You might turn on flight mode, you might be offline, but you will figure out how to turn it on again. It's something that gives a certain level of reliability. You cannot break your phone so easily, and it's also important because you're depending on your phone as a communications device, and eventually also for calling emergency services, for example. Now we have, and I don't know how was this on the last event in Austria where they tested cell broadcast and emergency alerts. We are at least on the road to fix that finally, so that the phones can receive cell broadcasts and different kinds of warnings. We had floodings in Austria again this year. Now and the interesting thing is cell broadcast was in test mode during this time, and they did not send out any messages because they were officially in test mode. Now imagine that a state says, okay, there's a natural disaster happening. We want to tell the people about it. It's an emergency case, but the system is in test mode. We cannot use it. We don't send anything. So that's what happened here. Anyways, now that it's live, I can say that UT can also receive cell broadcasts. It's becoming something that is really helping you out in some situations. Do you really want to break your phone and then not be able to make an emergency call? No.
I think I have used this case before, but I imagine, imagine sitting on a train and you do an upgrade or try to install an app using apt, and your phone breaks, and you are on a trip in the middle of nowhere. You don't have a desktop with you or laptop or anything. And you need to pay for a train ticket to get home. What do you do? Right? If you break your and the case for this is especially in Norway, where you have like very small train stations which don't have any way other than using your phone to buy a train ticket. Then you are, or in a more serious way, if an emergency happened, if you are stuck there and some medical emergency happened to you and you are the only one there, then it's pretty bad that you did that apt update. That's why we are immutable, and we need to be 100% sure that when you reboot your phone, it will boot up and you can use it.
Yeah. And I'm very proud to say that it was not the Fairphone, but I'm just showing as an example here. But 3 years ago, for my second son, I called the ambulance when it was time to birth with a new Ubuntu Touch phone. So I called the emergency number, and the guys just came. So at least their UT was in the loop of helping me out in that situation. And we had only 2 UT phones at home at this time. There was no other. Well, I think there might have been a landline phone still around somewhere, but I'm not sure about it. Still, I grabbed my phone, I called it, it just worked, and that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about if this would break or not. By the way,
I actually have a similar case myself, because I had to call the emergency service when I broke my ankle on top of a mountain. And that was a Ubuntu Touch phone.
Well, very good. Which unfortunately leads now into a Volta discussion in the chat, on the live chat. How stable is Volta now overall, Marius? Well, it's a bit of a segue, I guess, but we can take this as a question, I guess.
How stable is it? That depends if you ask for MediaTek or for Qualcomm. But for Qualcomm, it's highly unstable. For MediaTek, it's mostly stable. I'm not sure if I haven't seen the last update on that, so I'm not sure if the mobile data thing is fixed yet. But for Qualcomm, it is still requiring some stabilization and also implementing a couple of things. But it works, but it calls twice. Like it shows up twice and crashes when you hang up, and crashes if you get an SMS. So it's a bit of a little bit unstable, I would say.
Your mileage may vary thing.
Yeah.
It will become interesting also here now, because I'm receiving already notifications from my provider that they will turn off 3G at some point. We still keep 2G in some way, but then I have the problem that if they turn off 3G, that no calls will be possible on that thing anymore, I guess.
But 2G should be able, no?
Yes, I know. But that's interesting fact now. Actually, why it would be not covered anymore. I didn't understand the reason. Maybe it's just making fear of users that they have to swap their handsets. And by the way, I noticed that not even all the Android phones that I would have here and just use a backup phone maybe are capable of doing Volta, because in some delivery decision, I have, for example, a Pixel 2, and I was porting Pixel 2, as you guys know, for UT. And reflashing that to Android won't help much, because it was never sold officially in Austria. Hence, there is no data on it to connect to Austrian Volta networks. And it's really hard to patch it, because those suckers made it in a way that's not just a config file in Android where you can say, okay, I'm updating this. Now you can use Volta with Pixel 2. No, you just cannot. You have to hack it in an ugly way into the system, basically routing it, modifying checksums, stuff like that, to inject this one configuration file. And the answer is just, well, Google never sold it by themselves in Austria. They just gave it to carriers. Okay, I understand. It's not selling it by themselves. It's not selling in Austria, because you can just not buy it from Google directly. You can just buy it from a carrier. But it's an awful excuse, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So they're just, again, breaking hardware and making it obsolete by saying, okay, we cannot enable Volta on these old phones. No, we won't. So, yeah.
It is a really, really bad situation. I just wish that there were like more common config files. Yeah. I know some carriers are using that, but not all. And it's a pity that it doesn't work like 2G, where it just works. It just works. Yeah. The standard is the standard. You follow the standard or you don't.
Yeah.
But with Volta, there is. Yeah, it's horrible. It's a standard that no one really follows and no one cares. They make their own things, and then you need to make a config file because they deviated from. Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's a very entangled thing, but yeah, I hope that at some point the how to say the carriers and also the developers, the OEMs will find out that it would be better to work together on certain problems and not against each other. And let's see how far that comes. Good. So for the moment, there is not much more here that I just say it's Mario's level stable. Yeah, Volta is Mario's level stable. That's actually a good one.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So can we just say that if you want to try out Volta in a more reliable way, you would have to buy a MediaTek-based, or you would have a MediaTek-based UT phone, like a Vola phone or something like this? Is this something that users can do already?
I mean, yes, but I wouldn't encourage people to buy a new phone just because of that bit. But rest assured that it is coming on Qualcomm, and it's coming long before anyone shuts down in Europe, at least.
Yeah.
But if you don't have an Ubuntu Touch phone and you need an Volta phone, then yeah, probably go with MediaTek.
Yeah.
But I don't want to contribute to the landfill, the wasteland.
Yeah, that's also my problem here somehow. But let's see. At the end, I guess the carriers, at least here in our vicinity, they have to keep up 2G calls for quite some time because we have a lot of infrastructure that relies on 2G, like vending machines, and they all have these small modems inside.
Yeah.
They were so cheap that they didn't supply 3G, 4G modems for them. They just need to send a little bit of SMS data back and forth. So I guess there's the industry still telling the carriers that they cannot shut down 2G entirely.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Do you think? Wrap this up?
Yeah.
I'm happy with that, yeah.
Let's wrap this up.
Meow.
Meow.
Is Cats of Ubuntu still a thing, the group that was sending cat content on Telegram?
Oh, yeah. It's not that often.
Ubuntu.
It's still there, but it's not that often anymore. But
okay. You can see the cat heard her name. Hello, cat. Hello, kitty.
the cat wants to go out, but it is Saturday here in Norway, so I should wait until drunk people are not outside.
Ooh, okay. It's dangerous for cats already on that level. Well, the winter is long and cold, I know.
As long as they don't eat the cats.
Yes.
Yeah, no. But when people drive each other home from parties and stuff, they usually don't drive in the most speed appropriate way.
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
It's probably me being overly cautious, but it's better to be overly cautious than not.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
You don't want to have a lost cat on your side just because she insisted to go out, and
I am the boss.
Yes, of course. Cats rule the world. We know this. Okay.
Yeah.
So if there is not any more, I guess we can wrap it up a bit already.
Yes.
Any famous last words?
No.
Very good. Then I would say very much holiday greetings to everyone. Have a good time. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in case there is not much more interaction from us to you. There will be a great 2025 and more nice things to come next year, I guess.
Oh yeah, and also we should make it to pre-New Year's Eve episode regardless. 2 weeks.
Yeah, it might come. Yes, why not?
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
We could open champagne and we could make it a New Year's Eve midnight cheer up thing. But I guess nobody will watch it live. People will have other duties around that time of the year. So let's just plan for another session before New Year's Eve and then have a relaxed one on the next day or so. Yeah, 2025 hype. Fuse-Team, that's exactly what we need. We need more hype.
Hype.
Hyper. But so in case there is a show, don't miss it. It will be wrapping up the whole year for you guys. And yeah, let's see each other as soon as possible once more again. I will maybe join again at some point in time, which I don't know. But I always enjoyed to talk with you guys and get some news information and celebrating the still going strong Ubuntu Touch. Yes.
There we go.
We are all Vikings, not only Marius.
Yeah.
All Vikings here.
I just have a problem with my hair, but I could grow some
Ask
small
me.
part on it.
Ask me.
All right. Nobody says that Vikings had always fierceful hair. That's not true. They could have just have normal hair. I mean, it's just fiction what we think about all of that, right? Well, maybe not.
Science fiction.
Science fiction, exactly. Good. With that said, guys, have a good evening out there. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching it later on the recording side of things. And yeah, have a good one, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.